It's meant to be inside like a person with like autism's head, and the box head is meant to represent like, you know, a little aspect within their head, like the brain. Inside, say like my head, there's like a box head, like a little guy with a box on his head, and then inside his head there's a little like robot like factory thing. And it was basically meant to be like, I think about stuff kind of in a very robotic way. How could a robot cope with doing something wrong? And I think when something isn't like that, I mean, I definitely just have trouble. You know, like I just imagine those little robots running around my head, just like trying to like prepare for a meltdown.
So why Charlie Lowe?
I kind of just wanted to create a character that I can kind of look through my childhood. Childhood's something that I've always kind of want to explore through the lens of being like a young adult. And Charlie was the name of the first dog I had, because my dogs like are often quite such a big part of like people's childhoods. And then Low was just kind of for like a juxtaposition between the high-pitched like childlike voice, because I felt like giving like myself like a childlike voice kind of helped me get into that kind of a mindset of being a young child. Because like I feel like autism, with the way it makes your brain work, it kind of does just force you to be more creative. It's always about like, out of the box thinking, because like kind of normal stuff just doesn't come like easily to us. Maybe there's a way of like painting by the numbers, and then there's a way of just painting around the numbers, I guess. Art just generally helps me kind of like communicate to myself how I'm feeling, and maybe if I'm feeling like happy or like depressed or something like that, art is always something that I'd kind of just fall back on to kind of express that.
When you're making a film, how much you're thinking about like an end consumer, is that any different for the painting?
No, I just generally don't think about people
too
much. I don't know, like it's such a weird concept to think that like other people would put like value into something that, you know, I just do.
Yeah, so like you don't actually like know what you're going to do when you look at the blank canvas.
No, I've always been like that. Like I remember in school when I'd be like drawing something, like a kid would come up to me like, "Oh, what are you drawing?" So I don't know yet. When I made the songs for Charlie Lowe, the Charlie Lowe album, it was definitely quite sporadic in how I'd do it. When I didn't really have any lessons on, and I kind of just wake up and I just start just making music, because my Mac's right next to my bed. There are some times when, like, you know, say if I've had like a bad day at like you know, out on campus or something, like at uni, I would just kind of like just maybe like do like some sort of like somber type styled song, like I don't know, you know, usually if I had a bad day I'll just kind of like pick the really like minor chords and just play it. A lot of it just comes from being bored, I guess, like, you know, it's like quite bad weather outside, don't have enough money to do anything, I've only got money for pasta, I just make songs just to fill the void.
Do you think that like
in general, trying to challenge that side of yourself? Like, your parents have been encouraging with that?
Yeah, definitely. Like, my parents always knew that like art helped me, like and communicate and stuff, and they were quite adamant towards like the schools. Basically, like there was a little support system that my parents had to tell my teachers to do, but it was basically just like if I was getting stressed out or a bit overwhelmed in like classes, like there was too much noise going around, there'd be like a little special room that I could go to and I could just draw.
Do you think like your peers at school could sort of understand why that was something special for you?
You know, everyone's quite immature at that age, so maybe they just didn't really like, you know, because autism's quite a weird thing to understand at such a young age. I didn't even understand it. I just knew that, you know, I'd get stressed out and I'd just go through all this flurry of like emotions like in the classroom, and like I just, you know, I felt definitely like an outsider because everyone seemed to cope with their emotions a lot better than I could. A lot of people seem to like have social skills like naturally, whereas I was just a bit lost. Like I didn't know how to make friends. I didn't know how to like approach people. Like I remember I'd have like outbursts and I'd start crying, and I remember like teachers would tell me like not to cry. But it's just like the reason why I'd cry is because I had to keep everything inside. I remember just being so like built up with like just all these emotions that I could just never express to anyone in school. Like being a person with autism, I was never really good at the academic stuff, but I was really good at like just one thing throughout my whole life, which is just creating stuff and art. And I feel like I think the reason why I wanted to look back on my childhood is because I just feel so far away from how I was as a kid. Because now I have friends, now I'm able to live like independently, and I'm able to like kind of have those coping mechanisms in place where I, you know, say if I have a bad day, it doesn't affect my whole week.
I wish I was called Charlie High so I could say goodbye. Teenage love, yes, teenage love, yes, teenage love today. Teenage love, yes, teenage love in all sorts of ways. Teenage love, yes, teenage love with you. I'd spend the rest of my days.